But I think our first one we're going to take actually from somebody who's here in the audience with us. Delightful young man. From which primary school are you from, sir?
Copland Primary.
Copland Primary School in Glasgow. What's your name?
Mark.
Very good hair, Mark. Close up on the hair. Right, what's your question for Michael?
Can you tell us a little bit about your work with the Olympics?
Well, since I don't think they'll select me for the 100 metres, I thought maybe I could do something that I could do relatively well. Why are you laughing? Do you think I can't run fast or something? You're quite right. How can 67-year-old gits get in the 100 metres? You can't. So what they can do, 67-year-old gits, is to tell tales. And here's what happened, really. They came to me and they had created these two characters. I had nothing to do with them. But they created these two characters. And they said, please, could you tell us the story of how they came to be? And I thought the idea of them was very interesting because apparently they're making, down in England, a huge, great steel girder to go over the Olympic Stadium. And the idea was that a bit of steel from this girder had fallen off and landed in a sort of puddle on the floor of this steelworks. And somehow they had morphed themselves into these two creatures. They were really saying to me, tell us the story of how it happened. So I invented this whole story of a grandfather who was working at the steel mill. Last day it was, I think, have we got a clip of it or something?
Yeah, I think we do. We can have a little look at that now.
Wenlock and Mandeville know that it's time to go. Their journey is just beginning. So many adventures to have. So many people to tell. But they will meet again in London.
That's the grandfather,
in 2012.
The grandmother who made them.
They'll be there. You'll be there. The whole world will be there.
That's the Olympic Stadium. So that's the end of the story. You may not have seen the beginning, but that's all I did. It's just a 3.5-minute little film to get the whole idea of where these two creatures came from. There is something quite interesting about them, and that is that there's, what are they called, those creatures?
Called, I've been rehearsing this.
Wenlock.
Wenlock and Mandeville.
Wenlock and Mandeville. And the reason is interesting. I didn't know it. But apparently when they started the Olympics again, right at the beginning of the 20th century, a Frenchman who had started it came across a school teacher in Much Wenlock, which is down in Shropshire in England. And this school teacher had started a sort of Olympic Games with all the other villages around. And so he came over and he saw how it was being done in a school in the UK. And he thought, we'll go back and we'll use that and the Greek model of all these nations coming in and joining in friendship to make games. And he remade the Olympics. But this tiny little village and this schoolmaster and these school children had a little hand in it. And so one of them is called Wenlock. And the other one, I don't know if you know this, but when they started the Para-Olympics, the Olympics for those who maybe have lost a leg or they've got one or other disability and therefore they can't partake in the normal Olympics, some doctors at a hospital called Stoke Mandeville decided, why can't we have our Olympic Games? Excuse me. And so they started at this hospital down in England an Olympic Games, and that now is worldwide. So in a way, I won't say we started the Olympic Games, we started football, that's another thing. But we at least had a hand in how the Olympic Games look today. So I thought it was a story worth writing.